The three most important things to teach your dog to keep your dog safe, happy, and healthy, and to keep your dog with you are as follows. The first one is a solid recall. The dog should come to you when called, even under distractions. That's imperative for your dog to know, because if your dog gets away from you and is chasing something, the dog must focus on coming back to you as the most important thing the dog has to do. The second most important thing for the dog to learn is going to be a stay command. He has to learn to stay under any condition, under any distraction, and under any duress. That means if he's stressed out and he wants to go do something, his number one focus should be to stay with you. And the third most important thing for your dog to learn is a strong leave it command. Those three things will save your dog's life, it will keep your dog happy, and keep your dog from ending up in a shelter. Let's talk about the stay command. For the dog to stay, the dog must understand, stay, and I can throw a distraction his way, and if he breaks like that, he needs to be corrected for that, because that's the level of distraction that's going to get him to break the stay, and then he will fail in staying with you. So what I'm going to do is use either a long line or a leash so that I can teach him here. Good boy, Goofy, Goofy out. In order to make sure the dog knows his stay command, I'm going to tell him to stay, and I'm going to use a line to correct him. So here, I'm going to tell him, Goofy, down, Plutz, good, stay, good. And if he breaks, no. I'm going to correct him, no, on his leash, and tell him, good. Back, back, Goofy, good, here. Put him right back in that same position, in a down, Goofy, down, good. Good, stay. And here, Goofy here, come on. Good boy. Goofy down, stay. And he'll learn that staying, even under the duress of a distraction, is something I want him to do. And I'll praise him for that. Good boy, that's a very good boy. And I'm gonna pick up the distractions, because the more he learns to stay with distractions, the more he'll learn to stay when there are no distractions. And the level of distractions you introduce your dog to are going to make it harder and harder for your dog to stay. But add distractions and teach your dog to stay under distractions. Good, stay. I can even do a tug on the collar. Good boy. Good, stay. He should stay if I walk around him. And that right there is the stay. The most important thing to do is for your dog to come back to you when you call him. And in order to do that, you're going to always start with a line. I use a flexi lead to teach these things. I don't use flexi leashes to walk dogs. They're simply training tools. I'll probably do a whole series on just using a flexi leash for a training tool, but here we're going to talk about it a little bit. So if I tell my dog here, stay, and then come back and release the dog, good boy. Goofy, yes, yes, good. So now what I'll do is I'll get the dog distracted. I'll throw a treat out here. I don't want to use something as high value as a tug toy or something, but I'll use a treat and I'll call the dog off of that, because that'll be a bit of a distraction. So here, real simply, I'm going to take a couple pieces of treat and lay them on the ground. 3 pieces here. Good boy. Goofy's good and hungry. It's Goofy's lunchtime. Good. And I'm going to let them go get those. Okay, go ahead. Goofy, here. Good boy. And then I'll mark that and reward that with a treat. And I'll do it again. Again, you know, people always say, how do I get the dog to come under distraction? So now he's distracted. He's in a down. He's sitting there. Goofy, here. Good boy. And I'll throw a distraction. There's a treat. Okay, go get it. And he'll find it eventually. But while he's looking for it, Goofy, come. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Right? So teach your dog to come to you is a very positive thing. The recall is very, very important. There's still a couple pieces of treat out there. I'll throw one more to kind of get them over there, and then I'll recall them. Getting your dog to recall is the single most important thing you'll teach your dog. If there's only one thing you teach your dog, teach him a recall. Right? Yeah, go get it. Good. Goofy, here. Good boy. And you can see that even while he's there eating those treats, he's still going to come to me, because he knows that's exactly what I'm asking him to do. There's some more treats down there. I'll do it some more. Okay, go get it. Go. Go. And you'll see he'll actually default to coming to me. Goofy, come. Good boy. And teaching a dog to come to you is just about the easiest thing you can possibly imagine, because a dog should want to come to you because all good things happen when he's coming to you and when he's with you. So teach the recall as the primary, most important thing you'll ever teach your dog. The last thing we want to teach our dog that's very, very important, it's in the top 3 things, is a strong leave it command. So I'm going to use a piece of treat to teach him this, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So what I'm going to do is tell him down, Goofy Platz, right? Goofy's trained in German. Leave it, good. Leave it, good. Now if he doesn't leave it, he'll get a correction. I'm going to set him up for this one to fail so that you can see how I can correct him on this. So I'm going to use a little smaller piece of treat and watch what happens when he goes for it. Watch the correction, watch the timing between the correction and the verbal and the physical. Leave it. Darn it, he didn't take it. Leave it. Good. We've got to tempt him a little bit more. Leave it. Good boy. Now I'll call him away from those treats. Come on, good boy. And I'll give him a treat from my hand here. And I'm not going to give him these treats that were on the ground because they were the leave it treats. And if you watch my video on leave it, you'll see that I never give the dog the treats that are on the ground. Let's do it again. Let's see if we can get him tripped up and so we can do one correction. Goofy Platz. Leave it, leave it. Now he'll probably leave it because we've been doing a video on staying under distractions, and he's obviously going to stay under distractions, and this is not that big of a distraction for him. Leave it. You can see this is a really good leave it, so when you want to teach a dog food refusal, leave it without any aversion. But remember, this was taught to him using an e-collar. Leave it. That one he almost got because it was in motion towards him. Leave it. Good. Good boy. Leave it. Leave it. And I don't think you're going to get any better leave it than that. This was taught with some aversives, with some corrections, but you can see that this, trust me, if I release him to this, he's going to eat all these treats. Not something we want, not something we want to get the dog to do. Teach your dog a strong leave it command, a fooey command, a yuck command, so the dog knows that when you say no, doesn't matter what it is, the dog will listen to you. That's really important for the dog to have a happy, healthy, and safe life. And the reason you're doing these things is you're helping your dog to succeed. You're helping your dog in a communication with him, and you're helping your dog to understand what it takes to stay alive, stay out of the shelter, and stay with you for the rest of his life. If you care about your dog, if you love your dog, you will train your dog. Right, Goofy? He's a good boy. Oh, Goofy's a very good boy. And instead of giving Goofy treats, we're going to give Goofy a lot of love. We're going to give him a big hunk of love because that's worth more than all those treats in the world, I think, aren't they? Come here, good boy. Oh my God, what a good boy. Oh, what a good boy. Come here, stupid Steiner. Stupid Steiner. Come here. Come here. Hey, you want the toy. You want the tennis ball. Good boy. All right.